Hey everyone, welcome back to more political chatter. So, first of all, happy Father's Day. Sorry I have not been uploading lately. So, on Friday school ended. This weekend has been really busy. So, on Friday school ended. Saturday was my birthday. So, that's why I haven't been uploading much lately. And I'm sorry if my voice sounds off. I don't know what's wrong with it, but my throat, it was hurting really bad. It doesn't as much now, but it still does, and it will have an effect on my on how I speak probably. So, as you saw from the title of this video is just a straightforward video, a very general video. Who will be the next president of the United States? I always do election predictions between specific candidates, and this time it's very simple. It's who will be the next president. And I don't talk about this enough. I do individual matchups, but I don't talk about who the next president of the United States will be. And that is most important rather than a prediction between Roy Cooper and Donald Trump, MTG and Joe Biden, because that will likely not happen. So let's get into this election prediction. First off, we'll start with the Democratic Party. And I really do see Joe Biden being renominated by the Democratic Party. I should have pulled up polls here, but oh yeah, we do have some. But I mean, there really isn't any shot of anyone else winning. Joe Biden dominates in every poll. Only a poll in October of 2021 showed other at 44%, a lead over Biden. But I mean, looking at these polls, January 19th, 2020, Biden leads over Abrams, Booker, Buttigieg, Harris, Michelle Obama, AOC, Bernie. He leads over everyone, and I mean, parties have a history of renominating their presidential candidate regardless if they're popular. We look back in history. In the 1800s, this might have been different. Franklin Pierce was unpopular. The Democrats did not renominate him. James Buchanan was unpopular. The Democrats did not renominate him. John Tyler was unpopular. The Whigs did not renominate him. So, that might have been true in the 1800s, but now that is extremely untrue. That will not happen. The Democratic Party will renominate Joe Biden regardless, if he's unpopular or not. And of course, he is unpopular. Of course, he took a gigantic dip once his approval rating fell. But ultimately, it won't matter at all, and he will be renominated for President of the United States by his party. He was somehow nominated in 2020. Chances were against it, but he was. And saying that, I'm sure he will be renominated by the party. And a large part of that is who will challenge him. Going to senators. Cory Booker, going to Biden's administration leader's wife, Michelle Obama, going to his own vice president, going to his own transportation secretary, going to his friend Stacey Abrams, who's running for governor of Georgia. These elected officials, are they going to run against him? No, they are not the type to run against him. However, there are a couple people who might, and those people are very much not aligned with the Biden administration. First one is Kyrsten Sinema, the senator from Arizona, who I do think could potentially run against Joe Biden in 2024. She is a very moderate senator from the state of Arizona, as I said, and she has been under harsh criticism for her opposition to Biden. She rarely votes with him, and the big message is that she is not aligned with Biden, and she could be one of the few people to run against him. Number 2 is Joe Manchin, who is somehow not on here. I don't know how. But number 2 is Joe Manchin, who I also think would be more likely to run against Joe Biden than Kyrsten Sinema would be. And that will, it will really, come down to which one of them will run in 2024. Joe Manchin is a U.S. Senator from West Virginia. He's a Democrat. I know that sounds surprising, but I'm sure you've heard of him. He's a pretty conservative Democrat. He has, backed the pro-life wing of the country. And he could, Sinema and Manchin could be one of the two people. But I mean, according to Sinema, sure, her approval rating is at 8% nationwide. Alright, someone with 8% approval rating, the Democrats are not going to nominate her. Very few people are going to back her. Her approval rating is higher among Republicans than Democrats, and it's at 8%. So you can just imagine how low her approval rating is among the Democratic Party. So, really, Joe Biden will be nominated by his party. Going to the Republican Party, we have, I think that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee in November. Of course, he was the nominee in 2016, and he surprisingly won against Hillary Clinton. And he ran for re-election in 2020. He was the former president. And he is he is the leader of the Republican Party right now. He wasn't in 2016. It was a very divided party at this time. Were, still a lot of traditional conservatives, like then Ted Cruz, were running against him for the Republican nomination. But once he became president, they were like, whoa, he can win. And and the party started to stand behind him after that. So, he will be nominated by the Republican Party, saying that only 2 people ran against him for the GOP nomination in 2020, Bill Weld and who was the other one? I forget who the other one was. Joe Walsh and Bill Weld ran against him, but the party stood behind him. He won every state's primary. And going to 2024, people like Tom Cotton, Ted Cruz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, those people will not be running against Trump because they stand with him. But, Asa Hutchinson, the governor of Arkansas, has publicly expressed interest. He said that he would be open to running in 2024, even if Trump does. Adam Kinzinger said that he has his eyes on 2024. He is a very anti-Trump Illinois representative. Going to Mike Pence, his supporters said, hang Mike Pence. He was Trump's vice president who could very well run against him because of his, belief in election integrity. Glenn Youngkin just said in late May of this year, he said that he has his eyes on 2024. He could be a very strong candidate, winning many suburban voters who feel that Trump has pushed false claims about the election too far. And then, of course, there's Chris Christie, who's pretty anti-Trump, former governor of Virginia, who doesn't really have a shot, saying that his approval rating was under 10% when he left office. So, the 2024 primary really could be down to Chris Christie, Hutchinson, Kinzinger, Pence, Youngkin, and Trump. And I will add Tom Cotton in there just because he did say that I forget what he said, but he said that he would run in 2024. And of course Larry Hogan, the anti-Trump governor of Maryland, who again, anti-Trump keyword there, meaning that he would run against Trump. So overall, if Trump was able to win the primary in 2016, he will be in 2024. Alright, that's the key thing here. He was able to beat Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, John Kasich, all these big names in 2016, so he will once again be able to do just that. So, the Democrats will nominate Biden, Republicans will nominate Trump. That brings me to independent and third-party candidates. Going to the Libertarian Party, I'm not even going to go through them because they have no shot at the presidency. But independents, third parties, are a party unknown. We have Jimmy Dore, a political commentator. I have never even heard of him. He just appeared on this list. He could run, but I don't think he would have much of an impact. But Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, I really do think could be a very good candidate for independents, for third parties. He would really bring a lot of people together, and he would bring a strong message, and he wouldn't just bring another kind of racist and homophobic and xenophobic kind of message from a TV personality like Trump did in 2016, and that's what's going to differentiate him from Donald Trump, from 2016 Trump. And look at this, nearly 60% of U.S. voters would back independent candidate over Biden or Trump. They would be open to backing independent candidates, almost 60%. That's more than the majority. If they just win a third of that, then they could win the presidency. So the fact of the matter is, this is possible. Independent candidates can win the presidency in 2024. 2020, no. But 2024, yes, because of how hated Trump and Biden both are. So, but at this time, it really is too hard to say if Andrew Yang will run, if Dwayne Johnson will run, if Tulsi Gabbard will run as independents, if Jimmy Dore will run as independents. So I'm not going to include them in this list, and plus there is way too many. If The Rock runs, then Tulsi, Dore, and Yang will not run. If Tulsi runs, the rest of these independent candidates will not. So our matchup is just between Biden and Trump, and I really do think Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. I answered the question in the title of this video. Because, we have our two candidates here, and Trump will win, regardless if he's just as unfavorable as Biden. Biden is president, and Americans will really, really want a change-up. Trump will easily carry Iowa and Ohio. He'll easily carry Florida and North Carolina and Maine second. Biden might be able to hang on to moderate states like Virginia and New Hampshire. But besides that, Trump is going to dominate in the general. He's going to take back Georgia. He's going to take back the Blue Wall, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. He's going to take back Arizona, and he's going to win the state of Nevada for the first time, and along with Nebraska's 2nd district. So, Trump will dominate in the general, and therefore, Trump will be the next president of the United States. Thank you all for watching this video, and I hope to see you all next time.